Alright, welcome back to another eco guide. In this one I'm going to be covering up some basic laws, how to start making laws. It's one of the most important things in your eco server is to make sure that your government is settled with correct laws that aren't messed up, and fair laws, and also teach how to do them, because it's a very complicated thing to do in eco is making laws. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a capital. A lot of these buildings can be made in the carpentry table. There's a few that aren't, but for the most part, you want to get a carpenter and a carpentry table, and then you'll be able to make your capital. In your capital, you're going to be able to make a constitution and vote on the constitution and pass it. Once it's passed, you'll have a lot of the structure for your government that's already there. It's pretty vanilla in most servers, and you can change the constitution. Again, most people don't. In your capital, you can make a lot of different buildings. The one that we're looking at today is the court. The court will be how you make laws here, and it's really the only thing that you really need to do to make laws. So you'll make a court, and then you'll place it down inside of a building. So again, let's go ahead and start over. You have your carpentry table, you make a capital. You have your capital, you make your court. It's very easy, and you place inside of a building. So drafting laws is one of the more complicated things that you can do in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and go over how to hunt on people's properties without taxing them and allowing them to pick up harvested corpses. So the first box you're going to see on the left is triggers. Triggers will be basically the main events in the world that happen between dropping garbage, polluting, leveling up, harvesting, hunting, building, selling. So what we're looking at here is harvest and hunt. So again, the law I'm going to make is I'm going to make it so people can hunt any kind of animal on other people's property, but only allowing them to hunt. So what you're going to do is, because we're only doing hunting, we're going to want to make sure that we're not selecting like beets, so you're not going to mess up a farmer's source of income. You're just messing up, the hunters basically. So you're going to pick every single type of thing that can be hunted in this game, and you're just going to click all of them like I'm doing right now on your screen. Very easy. Just go through and you click all of them. If I miss a few, it's no issue. You'll just pick them up later. You're going to do this a little bit more slowly on your end. And unfortunately, like you just saw, if you click outside of it, you have to restart all over again. Eco has its flaws. It's still a pretty user-friendly system. So again, I'm going through all these, I'm clicking them, and these will be all the species that people are allowed to hunt on other people's property. This just makes it so the quality of life of a hunter is much easier inside of a very populated world. So if a deer runs on someone else's property, they don't have to stop hunting until that deer runs off. They don't waste arrows. It's pretty good. So I've harvest and hunt. I've clicked all 23 animal species, and I'm leaving tool used as any. You click the plus sign and if in the middle section, and then you scroll down to on owned land. This makes it so if anything is deeded and claimed, it is now acceptable to harvest and hunt. And then in the third box, very easy, is you're going to ignore authorization. That means that you ignore any authorization that would be the person whose land it is in order to hunt on it. Now these laws get pretty intense. If you mess up anything, though, your law is not going to work. From here, you can name your law whatever you want. Hunting on owned land law. It's hard to read at the top. You can enter the description here, so people who are voting on it have a better description of what it is, so they know what they're voting for. And it makes it very easy for people to understand what you're doing. So I can add this law to a new election, but here's what I'll do. I'll just do another example for you so you can understand a little bit more in other circumstances. So another very popular law that most servers do is allowing you to be paid if you do chop a tree or chop the debris in the stump, and tax you if you chop the tree. This makes it so it entices people to clean up their debris and pollution more, while making it so people can't needlessly chop down a bunch of trees and leave them there. Otherwise they'll be poor and not be able to actually chop down and ruin your world. So you're going to go down to the same place that the hunt and gathering was, but instead of that you're going to do trigger, you're going to chop tree, you're going to do any tree species, any tool species, unless you deem otherwise. You're going to do an if, and then you're going to click felled. If you don't click this, you're going to be charging someone every single time that they chop this tree. So what you want to do is you want to put felled on, so they only get charged or paid whenever that tree is completely down on the ground or trunk or stump removed. But right now we're doing half of it. So chop tree when it's felled, and then you'll tax someone, and the normal amount most servers do is 0.8, and you'll change the currency to whatever the currency is of the world. Now the second part of this, what you're going to do is you're going to add another part of this section, and you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to scroll down. Instead of chop tree, it's going to be chop stump, and then it's going to be felled like we did before, or destroyed, and then you're going to, instead of tax, you're going to pay 0.8. Very easy to do, but very complicated if you do anything else or change any other wording here. You can move forward and you can do another thing, like you can do chop debris or remove debris. If destroyed, you pay them 0.05. It's entirely up to you, but what this law will be designed to do is make it so people clean up their stumps, so the world has more trees growing and there's less pollution because of it. So these are only 2 examples. There's a lot of different examples, and I get a lot of my examples from the Eco Discord server. I would recommend that you look in there because there's a lot of really good law examples there. Again, this is a very complicated system. If you're watching this, you're most likely just starting out as a government official trying to figure out how you do laws. These are 2 good examples and a really good way on how to do it. So once you submit that law, what will happen is on the right side of the screen on this green paper icon, you'll click this and you'll start your election, and then in 24 hours this election will finish, and if there are more yeses than no's, then it will pass, obviously, and vice versa for the other. So that is how you create laws on Eco. Again, it's a very complicated system. I would recommend that you look at a lot of guides or seek assistance on writing laws, because if you change one word on that court system, you're going to really mess up your server for 24 hours if an admin doesn't help you out. So it was a pleasure speaking with you today. If you have any other questions, leave it in the comments below. I'm more than happy to make a guide about it, short, quick guide, so you don't have to watch 50 minutes of gameplay in order to get a good answer for what you're looking for. I'll see you in the next video.